last week of October historically produces many very good bucks for our team. The days are getting shorter, and the bucks feel the rising levels of testosterone coursing through their bodies. Both are signs that the big dance is right around the corner. On the morning of October 25th, Jared Mills witnesses this change firsthand.
Don't move. It's after 8 o'clock and just finally getting a chance to do an interview because we've been covered up all morning. It's been a heck of a morning, October 25th. And I think we've seen 5 different bucks so far. I don't know, 8 or 10 does. A bunch of grunts and snort wheezes and chasing. It's been a lot of fun. This is really the first morning that we've hunted actually targeting bucks. We came into this little pinch on Mike and I's farm targeting Merino and Gurley this morning. We've basically seen everything but a mature buck. But it's been a lot of fun to see all that. We've had deer on all sides of our tree within 10 yards, so hopefully the action's not over. That's going to do it for our morning. What a hunt it was, though, seeing 20 plus deer. That was awesome. And get to see some of that pre-rut activity. We're going to try to sneak out of here and make plans to go after the big deer tonight. Got kind of an odd wind. We got a really strong east wind coming this afternoon, so not sure what that's going to do for the deer movement, but based on cameras, I think we have a decent plan of where he's at. He just needs to come out a little bit earlier tonight. So we'll see. We're going to get down and make the move.
While Jared fine-tunes his plan for the big deer, other team members are hitting the reset button. Josh Sparks has abandoned the bean field on public land because of increased hunting pressure. Josh heads to a new piece he has never hunted, hoping to find another honey hole one that is still undiscovered by other hunters.
Today is October 25th, and Max and I find ourselves on a brand new piece. We got in here pretty deep, and we just took this creek as far as we could until we found some really good sign. Essentially, when we got to a sandbar, saw a bunch of tracks and some rubs, followed that up here, and we just got into some really thick cover with a bunch of rubs going out to that creek. Wind's blowing right to the creek where we popped up. The one thing we didn't know when we popped up here, I didn't realize we were pretty close to a field. Probably 100 yards away, we got a green field. With that field, I think this makes this a little bit more of a funnel than I anticipated, because we have creek over here, and then we have field right there, and this is probably 65, 70 yards wide. A bunch of trails going through here. This was definitely just kind of a push in and hope that we get in a good spot. We got about 2 hours left, so hopefully all these factors play into our favor, and we can have a mature buck on the ground, or at the very least see a mature buck tonight. Coming right in. See him? I don't know. It's a good buck. It looks young. I see her. He looks good right there. Well, that almost just worked out. That was an awesome encounter. Max looked up in the back of that field and said we got deer coming. And it was a buck, dog, and a doe. Oh, man. At first I thought he was one that wanted to shoot. And don't get me wrong, he was a beautiful deer. I just do think he was only 3. I'm pretty certain he was only 3. And I've set my goal as something mature, and I'm going to stick to that. But nonetheless, that was an awesome encounter. That's the first chasing we've seen of the year. And I thought we were done there for a second. As you saw, he just caught us. When they got into that section, both Max and I could feel our wind come right over our necks, right to him. And he never busted. He tried. And he was there for 2 or 3 minutes. And finally he gave up and just nudged her off. So, and we still got an hour and a half left. I've got to believe there's an older deer in this area somewhere. Hopefully he's behind those 2. Because that might have been the first hot doe in this area. Who knows? That's awesome. That is, down the trail. That was cool. That was cool.
A 120 miles to the east, Jared Mills follows through with his plan and sets up on the big deer.
Alright, October 25th, afternoon hunt. We're all settled in, ready to go. Right after I finished the morning hunt, I looked at the forecast, and it was the complete opposite of what it was supposed to be this afternoon. It was supposed to be strong east winds, and instead we have a really, really, really light northwest wind. That's basically going to switch to southeast by the end of the night, but super light and variable, so I think the wind's just going to do circles all night. So for that reason, I elected to still come to this same low blind that I would have on a strong east wind. And after checking cameras, he has been in this spot the last couple days. Once was a little bit after dark, and once was about 7 or 8 minutes before legal shooting ended. So if he does that again, we'll be in the game. I got about a 35-yard shot to the little scrape he's been working that we have the camera on. Like I said, I could not take any chances with the wind just doing circles, so there's no way we'd be able to get away with anything. We had a good hunt this morning with a lot of pre-rut-like activity, so I know they're getting excited, moving around a little more. Hopefully this big deer does the same. Came out about perfect, right down the hill from us, and he was walking right at us. And right before we spotted him, there was 2 does coming down the hill, and I think they interrupted him. Basically, he caught either their scent or saw them and went out in the CRP with them along with another little buck. He got down into a little valley where we can't see him, so I don't know where he's at now. The sunlight was just beating on his rack as he was coming up the hill at us. I thought it was game over. We still got time though, so hopefully he works his way out here. We can't see anything behind us. We have a whole bunch of CRP, so he could easily walk right behind the blind here. But hopefully he comes back out front.
After the buck appears in the CRP, he disappears for the rest of the evening. The story of this deer continues to develop, and Jared heads back to the drawing board, searching for his next move. The weekend is now here. October 26th arrives covered in frost. Josh heads back to the same stand where he passed the good young buck the evening before. As Josh gets settled, 115 miles to the east, Mike Reed is in a tree stand on the river farm.
It's Saturday, October 26th. It's about 7:30. I'm going to keep this short because it's super quiet and the deer's starting to move, but I'm down on Jared and I's farm. It's about 30 degrees this morning. We've got a light east wind blowing our wind back over the river. It's one of my favorite spots on the farm. It's a really nice funnel area. This is where I encountered Merino a couple years ago, and we're about 80 yards from where I shot Gronk. And our primary targets are going to be Merino and Todd Gurley. We've had pictures of them coming in and out of this area over the last week or so. I expect the movement to start picking up here pretty soon as the deer filter back from the ag fields.
Despite sitting in one of his favorite stands, Mike's action starts slow, with only a few does moving through the funnel. Back on the public land, Josh attempts to create his own action.
Let's see if I can ground back behind us. That is a stud, dude. Can you see him now? What?
I think he's coming.
Is he? Try to get downwind of us, yeah.
He's coming. He's coming right at us, Josh.
There he is, straight ahead. Here he comes. Get on him. What a tank of a deer right there. We've had a really slow morning, and we saw one that looked like a spike or a doe cross at the top of the field. We never got any footage of it. I told Max, watch back there, 'cause maybe another deer coming. Then he said another deer stepping out, and right away I knew it was a shooter. And he ended up coming back towards our way. And I thought he was coming, I really did. He got into the corner and then just worked his way down the other edge of the creek. Closest he ever was probably 70 yards. But what a stud, man. My goodness, I'm freezing on top of the fact that, I mean, we were holding it together pretty good. I thought we were about to do it. And as you guys know, as soon as they go the other way, it really starts to hit you. What a cool encounter. We're in them in here, man. That's 2 hunts and 2 bucks, 2 good bucks.
Jared Mills is also hunting on the morning of the 26th. It is his goal to close in on the doe quota for the project farm.
Good.
Alright, first doe down on the project farm. It's October 26th. We came out here. The wind is really tough right now, so we didn't want to go buck hunt anywhere, but I want to continue learning this property and how the deer move through it. And I hadn't shot any does out here yet, and I want to take some off. It's a nice cool morning. The only problem is there's just no wind, so it's kind of swirling everywhere, but it's a beautiful morning for late October for sure. And it's still early. We have a good couple hours left in our hunt, so hopefully some more move through soon. He's all bowed up to him. You see that? We got cameras checked, got the doe taken care of. One thing I was going to share too, last time we were on the property checking cameras, Grant and I found a really big shed on one of the ridges. So that was encouraging to find on a brand new farm like that. It's real similar to last year when I was hunting the first project farm, finding a bunch of sheds in October. It's cool picking up another big one in October. But today's carpool went well. We have one really big framed deer that's showing up on a ton of cameras. He's a big, I guess he'd be a mainframe 9, and he also has a split 2 on one side. Just a cool deer, like I said, big frame, big body on him. And he's starting to show up a little closer to daylight. And then a couple other mature bucks, one pretty nice 8 that's been showing up pretty regularly too. So, but overall, good day. Got doe down, and now we're probably gonna go after the big deer tonight. So hopefully we can have a good ending to the day.
After a surprisingly slow morning, Mike Reed decides to switch stand locations for his afternoon hunt.
It's the afternoon of Saturday, October 26th. It's about 4 o'clock, and Jake and I are set up for the hunt. We're on Jared and I's farm still. We hunted just right inside the timber here on this little funnel this morning and had a decent hunt. We've moved out to the wetland area, and we have this turnip plot tucked up against the corner of the timber. And it did really well this year. We've got this scrape tree right out in front of us. We've had pictures of Todd Gurley here in daylight. Marino has been about 100 yards away in the afternoon. He came out at 6:30 one evening out of the timber here. Those are our 2 primary targets. The neighbor is combining all of his beans right here. You can hear the combine going. And I think he'll be combining right up till dark, but he finished getting his corn out a few days ago, and they're gonna get all the beans out here pretty soon. So I imagine all the deer are gonna be heading out there to eat. There's typically a lot of does in this plot, and so as we approach the end or the beginning of the rut, this pre-rut time phase, I expect the bucks to be, harassing the does. So I'm hoping where the does are, the bucks are going to be. See if a big buck comes out behind him. His eyes are black. That was a cool encounter. That 10 point is on just about every camera, and I think it's the 3rd time we see him. It's the first time that I have a close enough encounter to get good footage of him. I think Jared might have gotten some footage of him when he was out of this tree a couple days ago, but he walked right at the base of the tree, and I think our wind kind of went over him, and our ground set must not have been too bad because he barely hesitated, and he's just heading out to those beans they're cutting. That 10 point's got very distinctive black really black eyes. The rings around his eyes are black, and very, very distinctive look. I was a little on the fence whether he was 3 or 4, but after seeing him in person, I think he's a 4-year-old. Nice looking deer. Hopefully the parade continues. He's pretty. He's got really nice. I bet there's a deer crossing the road and that car's honking out. I wouldn't be surprised. They're coming out from across the road into the... Right there. Right. We're sitting here in the tree, and I was just telling Jake that I could hear some thrashing down the corner at the edge of the plot. It sounds like a buck raking a tree, and then we could hear him walking. And it's crazy that none of these deer are coming in the food plot. They're all walking in the timber. And he was coming right downwind of us. I was able to stop him at 27 yards. And looked like I pummeled him. It looked like I made a great shot. It sounded like he went down over here, so pretty exciting. That's awesome. I know he's dead just right up the way here. Here we go. All right, one right here. Here. He starts to wheel. That's him right there. There he is, guys. We did hear him crash. Let's go take a look. He's laying there posing for us. Look at that beast. Look at that guy. Golly. Well, this is Todd Gurley. What a beast of a buck. The mass is unbelievable. I never did appreciate it in the trail camera pictures. He's been on the farm since we bought it. Last year he was a really nice looking 4-year-old. Jared had a few encounters with him. And then this year he made a really nice jump, threw out a bunch of character points, and packed on some mass. Got great long beams. So this recently, late October, has been some of the best weather I can remember in the last 10 years. The hunting's been really good. We've been having lots of great hunts, great encounters, and this is one of the reasons we get these deer down in late October. You get these cool weather fronts, and we're all having good encounters with mature bucks. So hopefully this pattern continues. The next week looks awesome, and we still got a couple more targets, and I've got another tag in my pocket, so we're going to keep after them pretty hard.
Late October continues to be productive as Mike tags a great buck. He wasn't the only one, however, to have success on this day. 250 miles to the northeast in Wisconsin, team member Josh Mersberger also had a great hunt.
I am filming by myself, and this buck comes trotting in. Oh my gosh, that is a good buck. He just tipped over behind me.
He gave me about a 12-yard shot, and he only ran probably 25 yards, 30 yards, and tipped over. So couldn't be happier. The Hoyt did the job, and beautiful hunt.
The October action has been red hot. Bucks are hitting the ground much more frequently than normal. And the best part, this month still has a few more days to offer. We look forward to them with increased optimism. The wave we have been riding makes believers of us all. Anything can happen now. The best days of the season are upon us. A few more days only, and then we will be chasing November.